most of the time. But Slack normally wins the man fight regardless. It goes both ways. Like it depends on the teams a lot as well. I have a feeling we won't be seeing Slack this game though, at least from DESPACIO. Because Silence is a pretty good hero against it. So is Nyx as well.
Could we see Sark come in for Team Moriarty as they played it last game? And there's the Sark for DESPACIO.
Well, it's a really easy game if you have Magnus to play Slack most of the time. And they have a lot of initiation, but he's probably just going to be forced to go Tread Tequila, Shadowblade, BKB. Which isn't too bad when you have Mag, because your damage still comes through in team fights and your farming speed doesn't suffer too much.
And Moriarty, they pick up the Void.
5 seconds remaining.
Good hero.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if it's going to be off-lane Void or safe-lane Void.
I feel like you want safe-lane Void against Slark. It's a really hard hero to man fight.
Yeah.
Void's just got a lot of naturally good tools against Slark, and the rest of the heroes, they have a bit of control for him, but that's what Silence is there for, and otherwise there's very few issues for Void. And they also lack burst damage right now, so unless they pick up a mid hero or an offlaner that offers some like sizable chunks of damage in short intervals, Void's going to have a lot of sustain in team fights.
And I'm pretty sure Moriarty, they went Void Sark last game. Now they're up against each other. It's Void, Silencer, Lina, Nyx. And I do like this. You know, sometimes you see teams pick up Void, and then they've got nothing to hit into the Chronosphere with it. You know, they don't pick up someone like a Lina or Silencer. They're trying to do it with a bunch of melee heroes, or even a Sand King, and it just never works out. But you've got these heroes that can hit from the outside in. What are your thoughts on Lina and Silencer? Are they, you know, is Lina your mid or is Silencer your mid? Can Lina be your support?
10 seconds remaining.
It definitely could be, but in this situation, I imagine it's going to be Silencer and Nyx as the support duo. Void goes off, Jaro with the first game I've seen him in a real match in a long time. The hero is pretty much been dead for ages. But it is really hard to play Slack into Jaro, I find. At least in the early game. And we get Attacker Kunkka PogChamp, boys. Let's go.
Yeah, it is Attacker Kunkka. With Monza on the Sark, Kefka playing the Earthshaker. Immortal Faith on that Rubik, and Rod on the Magnus. For the other side, Arise is on the Lina, Flash on Silencer, Mike Fury on the Void, Khan on the Gyrocopter. And I'm not too sure who the last name is on Nyx Assassin.
It's a bit of a long name. We might want to shorten that down.
Isn't it like Twitch.tv or something like that? No, that might have been someone else, or their name in-game. Blink. Not too long. Not that long.
10 seconds remaining.
I'm not so sure if I like or dislike Kunkka here,
5 seconds remaining.
From what I've seen, the way he's been playing it is he goes face boots, double bracer, armlet into whatever he feels he needs, and it makes him like super tanky and durable, which is gonna help his team a lot. But I don't know, like I feel like they might just lack a bit of damage. They need the fights to go quite long, I feel like. Whereas from the other side, it's just like your goal is to burst someone down in either a Nyx stun or a Chrono backed up by Global, and then you have a lot of sustained damage for Lina and Gyro that kind of carry the fight through for you. You might be a bit short-handed on stuns if the Nyx isn't off to a good start or he misses his spells, but otherwise I feel like they have a bit of an easier time executing. And also looks like they're going to go aggro just based on like their starting items and what heroes are going, so that's going to give the Void a lot of easier time. And make him a lot more relevant as the game goes on.
Like this word here by Team DESPACIO, placed by this Magnus. Deep, see the bounty, maybe they make an aggressive move.
That's a game-winning ward if it scouted the smoke. Did it? Or did they smoke beforehand?
This ward over here. Yeah, I was talking about the top ward. I like that. And then
yeah, but I saw you just place this ward and they pinged something, so they might have smoked. With the timer, I'm guessing they smoked underneath it. And that's going to give them the cue to set their lanes accordingly. I feel like you want to get the mag against the tri-lane as much as you can. Slark does not enjoy these situations very much. If you were going to get this the tri-lane, he'd have to be getting a lot of kills to make it worth it. And I feel like the biggest problem if you're losing your tri-lane is you want a core that can come to the lane, like Park, Quap or something. Attacker on Conquer, it's okay, but Mag, it's pretty garbage rotation most of the time. So yeah, they definitely saw it. They're lane swapping. They're also going to have shaker blocks on the off lane if they want, which will be pretty nice.
So mid, your matchup is going to be the Kunkka up against the Lina. How do you think attacker fares against this this Lina of Arise?
I don't think it's going to be too bad for him, but I'd favor Lina most of the time.
Yeah, Lina's one of the top mids, especially early, I feel like.
The problem he's going to run into, though, is whenever the supports from the Radiant side aren't showing, he has to constantly worry about getting killed. Whereas his supports, they don't roam anywhere near as well. Like Nyx, it's fairly easy to dodge the stun if you see it coming. But the lane should always be in Lina's favor if she doesn't spam it out too much.
Take a look over mid. I think maybe Immortal Faith is looking to grab this courier.
Yeah, they're both trying to do the same thing, I think.
Go across on it. We've also got Blink who's smoked up, and Radiant's courier is starting to move.
His smoke's gonna expire first, so feels bad, man.
But can he back up or get into a tree in time? Make sure he gets it. He might just wait.
Yeah,
He doesn't. I don't think he's gonna care. He gets the strike, trying to kill that courier. Is fast enough, and the salve is taken out.
That's a big deal. Kunkka's probably gonna have to base at some point now, or someone's gonna have to come and give him a salve, but neither of the supports have one.
Yeah, so rough start for
He only
Kunkka.
had one tango.
Lina gonna lead the lane. Let me take a look over up top. Mike Fury on this Void. They've got the silencer up here. This could be a pretty difficult lane for Slark. I feel like there's no catch really to kill off this Void. They could get harassed out by the Arcane Curse or even just the glaives from Silencer time and time again. And maybe Slark doesn't have the best of lanes. As we take a look over mid, attacker getting a little bit low, but so is this Lina. Both of these mid laners are trying to get away from their gankers. And actually,
looks like Rubik is dead.
Yeah, up top, you get the kill over on the Silencer. You take a look over mid. There's the telekinesis. You miss another one. I miss another one on the Earthshaker. They finally kill off the Rubik. Oh my god.
The lift killed him. The taunt was gonna land, and then he lifted the Nyx towards him, and he died. That was a pretty bad misclick, or misplay, depending what his idea was. Because I think he would have been fine if the torrent landed, which it would have.
A bunch of things going on up top too. Lost the Earthshaker and lost the Silencer. A little bit of a 1-for-1 trade up there. I think First Blood went the way of Team Moriarty though.
I don't think it'll be too bad as long as the Slark can hit creeps. He's got a TP ready, so probably about now or after this wave, he's gonna look to make a lane swap to Mag.
Yeah, so Magnus has his TP ready to go as well, and it is just Gyrocopter down bottom by himself. You know, no real threat of Magnus going in. I don't think he really should be worried about anybody coming over. Should be pretty survivable, especially with that level 2 in the rocket barrage.
They could actually kill him if the Slack does a TP and they don't know about it, but he is under a ward, and it's going to get cancelled by Nyx, so super big plays. It's going to reveal the fact there's a ward here, and he's actually going to die because he walks
They're going
the
to
wrong
get
way.
the kill on the Nyx, so up top, they do stop the TP. We take a look over bottom. They might have also caught out this Gyrocopter. He's trying to get away the creeps, blocking him in, MVP. And now Kefka, he's got Fissure available, so just trying to line it up the right way, get some time for Magnus to come over. They've got the Nyx who's TP'd bottom, and Gyrocopter surviving with that Tango regen and also gets that salve off, so he's gonna end up being okay.
Coin for me.
That would be such a good trade if the Nyx just didn't walk into the tower and feed the Slack.
Yeah,
Like, cancelling his TP would have been...
tried to get that X as well as the Torrent, but now with that last word coming out, he might actually be dead. Survives with 11 health. So attacker just barely surviving on that Kunkka mid. That would have been a nice kill for the Lina as well as the Silencer to split that up. -2 on him, which, you know, not a crazy pool of mana, especially early on.
The only way Kunkka really sustains is like through X's and TPs and getting the runes, so... Yeah, the int could be a big deal, but narrowly escapes. You know, just a few things going their way at the moment, but overall, the Dire are getting the better end of the game.
I think they're going to go in over mid for this Lina. They get the telekinesis up. The Light Striker Ray is going to miss. X mark spot comes in from attacker, but again, Silencer is here, making his day very rough, and the last word's going to silence him up. Light Striker Ray does land on that Rubik. Should be a dead Rubik, and with the stun coming in from Blink, he will be. And it's, again, you know, we've seen this quite a bit in the open qualifiers, just kind of ganks going wrong, and that's one of them.
It's really biting them in the ass as well, because Kunkka's... he'd be able to do okay in this lane if his team wasn't basically screwing him over. And the only thing that's really going well for them right now is the fact Slack's getting a lot of these... if he didn't get bashed, he'd be getting a lot of turn kills.
And he might actually die for this. They use the Chronosphere, get the kill. Flash takes it. Bonza's so close to getting a kill on that Silencer. The lucky bash comes out for Mike Fury from RN Jesus. And with that, they're able to lock him up long enough, get that Chronosphere down, and kill off a Slark. And for Radiant, for Despacio, it doesn't look too good in the early goings of this game.
No, they have laning problems, but their lineup really shines through outside the lanes.
Now Sark's made his way over bottom. He's got that pounce, leashes him up. Telekinesis is going to come through, missing the fissure, so he should still go down. A little bit of mistiming and miscommunication with those stuns.
Hasted Lina.
They've got a hasted Lina, and they will be able to take out Monza. So that's Monza dying twice in the span of about a minute and a half. And now Kefka, he's next on the list. Laguna Blade's used, another -2. Rai's doing a pretty good job on this Lina, and Haste really helping out to get that 2 first kills for him.
And meanwhile, attackers here smoked up, but if he only gets a Nyx, it's not as good, and I doubt he even gets this. Yeah, he does.
Trying to stun him up. They should have telekinesis, but out of mana is Immortal Faith, so he's going to be able to salve up. They don't catch him just yet. Finally tick off that salve. The first hit bash from Mike Fury. It seems like it may just be one of those games for a Void. It's not going to keep the Nyx alive, but I have a feeling that maybe we're going to see a big-time Void game, and up top, Rod's going to fall to this Gyrocopter.
Hard game. Hard game. Oh, that's a really good snipe. Shaker's going to get a few levels off that. Good bit of change as well. And I feel like they just need to kind of settle the game down a bit. Right now they're either trying to make too many plays and they're getting countered by a team that's actually better at fighting right now. Where, like, they kind of just need to let their cores get in power, get their levels, and start building towards like the 15-20 minute mark. Because they are going to bleed kills as the game goes on because of the Nyx ganks and Chronosphere in conjunction with the Lina. It's too much damage to not be giving up 1 or 2 kills at certain points. But it's like the kills outside of that are really going to hurt them. I mean, the Slack's still doing okay on farm, so it's not too bad, but...
I'm going to try and come over with both the Rubik as well as attacker. 2 up top here, Nyx and the gyrocopter. I don't know if they're going to be able to stop a gank. If it does come through, it depends really on the boat and if the torrent lands. So Blink and Khan are both up here. If they can get the telekinesis with the torrent and they actually get the torrent out on this gyrocopter, might be in a little bit of trouble. There's the telekinesis fade bolt skewered back in, and now there's the call down. So attacker getting quite low, and Dragon Slave's going to come through. There's a nice, not the best Chronosphere, should kill off attacker.
It's good enough.
Almost caught out 3, and now they look towards Immortal Faith. If he could just get the bash he wants. Maybe he kills off Immortal Faith, but it's a 1-for-1 trade. Gyro for attacker. Almost completely different fight if Mike Fury grabs more than one in that Chronosphere.
I feel like that still favors the Radiant though, just because they were the ones to like initiate the gank, and then the heroes TP'd, and Slack's getting some space meanwhile. And a 1 hero chrono dying where Lina's already there is like, it's not that bad when the hero is pretty close to dying anyway. And now Mag's got his level 6 with the wave getting pushed in and some jungle farms, so they have RP available. It's pretty easy to make some plays this game with all of the stuns and like acts and lifts.
You got some big time stacks here for this gyrocopter.
You just can't take them though. Not the ancients at least.
Yeah. Which he probably doesn't mind. It's a nice chunk of gold going out for him.
Yeah, he's quite far behind, but at this point he's kind of just playing the fighting hero. Which is weird considering the draft. You'd normally expect Void to be getting sacked instead. But he's done really well in his lanes, and he's been involved in
they do get the stun on attacker, looking over mid. Fissure, I think, saves his life. Maybe they even go after Blink or this Alina, and Blink's just gonna go over right, probably get away. No Fissure again. The Pounce is gonna miss. And now Monza just trying to move forward. Both of them are stunned. Can they get him? Can Monza get the Fissure help from Kefka? And he does for now. Darkpack's going to be used, but I don't think they want to continue to go in. There's the Global Silence. X marks the spot is around. They've got the Rocket Barrage as well as the Call Down, kind of zoning out the rest of this team. He uses Echo Slam, and he does end up taking out that Nyx. There's the RP, but immediately blown up. Here comes the boat, and it's going to hit on 2. Void's going to get himself an alright Chronosphere. Locks up 2 of his own friends. End up getting 3. It's a 3-for-2 trade, 11-8.
Slightly better chrono. They don't lose a hero, and they also kill the Conquer. That's the margins of Dota. But this is a really quick move from them as well. They shrine up, instantly smoke with the Vendetta gank. Attacker's probably not expecting this. But unfortunately, Lina's got super greedy and she's going for the tower instead. Like, they would have just got a nice easy kill.
They still come over to attacker. They've got the last word, hitting away with these glaives, doing quite a bit of damage to attacker. Last word's gonna pop with the arcane curse. Can't really run away too well, and get themselves the kill. So these two supports.
Get 11 charges, and he still dies.
Yeah. These two supports for Team Moriarty, they get themselves a kill on mid attacker. So you want that core kill. And very nice one.
Yeah, and it was like as efficient as it could be. Is only downside, I suppose, now is Slack just scouted the ward they placed after the gank. But very small downside. They have control of the game pretty comfortably right now. Lina's going to have a Yule soon as well, which is going to make, at least for mind games, a lot more enjoyable from the Conquer side. I feel like it's pretty easy to know when he's actually going to cast spells on you, but
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
you know, this isn't a pub game. This is a slightly more real setting, so we might not get the highlight reels.
Look over mid, blinks here again with the Vendetta, spots attacker, not going to get the stun, gets the Vendetta hit only. And without that stun lined up, they're not going to go in and try to get this kill. They do wrap around quite a bit with Flash and Blink, and the two of them have shown that they're quite powerful against this team, especially if they find someone low enough. So they've been roaming around, and that's another added pressure to the side of DESPACIO.
Yeah, and if they can make plays while like Chrono's down as well, it's even scarier. But they're gonna have their ults up in a few seconds. Lena's gonna have her Yules if she doesn't die here in 300, which is pretty good stuff.
Radiant's middle tower
And they basically have the tri-core lineup against a single core. Until you get the big items on Conquer, you don't do that much damage.
He's trying to get himself an armlet, and he's
It's
level
step
10.
one.
It's not too terrible right now, but he's behind quite a bit on the Kunkka and Lena, so you know their 3,000 net worth advantage is very much showing right now.
And I imagine they want to do their best to keep this off, because right now they're slightly stronger. And once Mag gets RP and Blink, there might be
Radiant's middle tower.
more room for contention, so they just want to like secure as much as they can right now.
They get the X back on the Nyx. Boat does hit. Maybe one more shot would have been the kill strike, but Blink now running away towards his team. I don't think they can really chase.
That's a sad, sad Conquer. He sees his kill, but he can't take it. Look how cocky this silencer is as well, just roaming around in the jungle. He's gonna get pounced, he's probably gonna TP out, be completely fine.
It's pretty low though, and Slark, he's okay with this. I feel like the 2-1 tower goes down. They had a lot of heroes over mid. Now Lena's up top. This gives Slark a little bit of time trying to get that Shadow Blade and really reassure his game up and try to bring his team back into it down 3,000.
Money to burn.
I'm not sure he's the person that brings them back in though. I feel like it's mostly the other heroes that, you know, they have to play to enable him. And right now the Magnus is on the other side of the map trying to farm his Blink, so Empower's not actually affecting the Slack at all, which is... It's not too bad, I suppose, but you know, it would be nice to see a bit more efficiency coming out. This is where you really see the difference between, like, you know, thrown together teams that are just playing for qualifiers and teams.
You know, that does happen a lot in these open qualifiers, especially where, face it, you can sign up solo and you're put with 4 other people. We see a lot of those teams all the time in the early rounds. Both these teams, I think they've been together for quite some time. I know Moriarty has been. Take a look over Spark. He's got himself that Shadow Blade, so he's going to try and push forward, but there is a sentry ward in this lane, so if they spot out the Slark, it could be a bit of trouble for him. He did ping out the fact that they have a sentry ward there.
And Lena just got an Invis rune unscouted, so this could completely turn the fight if they don't know. Her and Nyx with a good wraparound equals easy fight. Rubik does drop a sentry, so they can't wrap around, but they're actually going for the Slack kill. Which, if he goes to the camp outside of the bounty ring, that would get him pretty easily.
Man, he's gonna go for this little camp right here. Arise just trying to get the kill. They've got the Light Strike Array as well as the Dragon Slave. The stun coming in from Blink with the Laguna Blade. And Monza dead again.
That was a pretty hard gank to anticipate. Like, they had no idea the Invis rune was in play, so just really unfortunate for him. He didn't lose too much money at least, but his team didn't get anything accomplished with his death, and 2 lanes are just pushing into towers, and you can see how scared they are. Like, they have TPs on heroes, go clear this triple wave that's coming into your tower, but they're not doing it. which just says that they're really, really afraid, and they don't want to play from a split perspective. They want to be as grouped as they can, which is going to hurt their economy a lot.
They have Chronosphere. They should be able to fight in a little bit with Lina getting Laguna Blade back. It's really, with those kind of ults up.
This is so sad. They don't even have detection.
They'll just try to skewer, just try to look for something, and they're not going to find it. And as I was trying to say, you know, they maybe look to be aggressive there, but you've got Chronosphere available, as well as the Laguna Blade, Global Silence to stop you if you do make a good initiation. Moriarty, they seem to be in quite a really good spot. And what really can DESPACIO do to kind of chip away at this net worth and really hope to start taking some of these fights?
Well, the Shaker with the blink is one thing, and picking up heroes like that is always nice.
Well, that's if Slark lives and he's trying to get away. They have the sentry. They continue to get the rocket barrage on him, and here comes the nice missile. Trying to get an Echo Slam to stop that gyrocopter, and will, and now see how this fight kind of turns out. You've got the stun, you've got Laguna Blade still alive is going to be this Earthshaker. They're using everything to kill this Earthshaker. They've got the RP to come in. Now Gyrocopter's still alive. Magnus in a bit of trouble. He's going to be the next one to drop. Gyro's going to fall. They're looking for at least this Slark, and they'll get it. Triple kill for the Lina. 4 die on DESPACIO. Will kind of look good for them. And Moriarty, they lose that Gyrocopter.
I mean, they're winning fights with one-man Chronos.
Yeah, and they use
the
everything
heroes just
on them.
do more. And, you know, it's the same thing with, like, DESPACIO's side when one-man RP, one-man Echo, one-man boat. I don't think the boat even hit anything, but it's like one-man rum, and yeah, it's just not good enough for them. And
top tower is under attack.
before the Knicks scouted that smoke, like, that was a really good timing for the Shaker having his blink, but they'd all been on that side of the map for about 2.5 minutes or so. So it was kind of pretty easily choreographed. The Knicks saw it, did the right thing, stopped the smoke, and then they took an advantageous fight. They didn't even use global, so it feels pretty good. Jara's about to finish up his ags, so the memes can start flowing.
Gotta get that side gunner.
It's actually a lot better than people believe it to be. Problem is his other spells.
Lina might be in a little bit of trouble. There's the telekinesis pulled back by X. Global Silence should help him get out. Just gonna TP away. Arise is safe.
That was played really, really well. Like, he knew he didn't cast Tara, and attack is not that stupid. And yes, they force out the global and they get a kill on Nick, so it's a pretty good win for them. It's just if they can not make use of the global being down, then it doesn't really matter. But this is a really good
and now they're going to be able to kill off the Lina, so Arise gets away over by that secret shop, but they get the kill anyway. Now Mike Fury coming in, he's got himself Chronosphere ready to go. He looks towards Kepka to use the Chronosphere to kill off Earthshaker, and now he's got to try and get away. They go down bottom, they get the RP. Void is going to be locked up. Can they finish off the kill? There's the telekinesis Fade Bolt Torrent, and they will.
And this is what playing fast does for you. To be fair, I don't think Arise should have gone for, like, pushing the wave under the tower with the situation he just gotten out of.
They're still going for more, looking towards this Nyx. Arcane Curse as well as the last word, just trying to get away, heal himself up. The Sentry Ward down, there's the Rocket Barrage, and Boat's going to hit as well as the Torrent onto this Gyrocopter. Still backing up his Slark, but he'll end up falling to the Arcane Curse. Magnus is going to be the next one to drop. They look towards this Rubik. He's got Arcane Curse to slow him down for a little bit, but there's the Laguna Blade, another -2. The Silencer really racking him up at 14.
And he's got his Midas, so transition to a core is only a few hundred kills away, right?
Yeah, and they're going to get this Earthshaker also.
Held your feet to the
Yeah, Lina move speed is complete bullshit, honestly.
Really starts slamming it down onto the table above this team of DESPACIO and Moriarty really want to move on to the finals of this open qualifier.
Other than the few mistakes they made in that window, I feel like they've been playing pretty cleanly this game, and now they've got a Roche, they can play a bit more freely as well, especially with it going to the Lena. She's still pretty squishy with the build she went for, Yule Shadow Blade, delaying the Bloodstone pretty heavily, but it's paying off when they get kills like this.
Yeah, Rubik's gonna die. Attacker shows up forward. He, you can't go up that close and could be in a little bit of trouble. They're trying to play counter aggressively, and Moriarty, their aggression is just too much to handle. It's overwhelming for him.
And now with the Aegis as well, it's really hard for them to defend towers the way they want to. But if they get caught under a sentry here and get skewered into base, cough,
yeah, there it is, and he just takes it. So they still don't have the tier 2 down. Going to be hit by that Torrent Arise, trying to get away. The Global Sounds probably save his life. He's still trying to get out. They have the Blink Skewer if they want to try to bring him back in, but they won't. They'll just give up this tier 2. They pop the Aegis pretty quickly, and Moriarty, they're okay with giving up the Aegis, take that tier 2. They've got quite a lead under their belt of 11,000 net worth, and things are looking pretty good for them overall.
Slack.
Spark might be caught out. Lena with the Laguna Blade as well as the Yules almost jumps right into that stun. It's a 3-man Chronosphere, except 2 of those guys are on your team. You end up getting the Spark, so it's worth it.
Yeah, I think that's why they don't really mind if they use the Aegis. Because, sure, it would be nice if Arise doesn't get skewered into the base and have to blow it, but they're just looking to take any advantage they can get to build on. And then, if they have Aegis, they can play a bit more aggressively, but if they don't, they take those 1-hero chrono kills and they continue building their lead. Just look at their spells like Midas. Every time chrono's up, you want to cash it in, get some gold, and then you play around the fact the cooldown's not there.
It seems to me that just the way he's kind of throwing the Chronosphere, they're thinking about maybe going for what could be Ags on Void. Say he wants to throw it as often as possible.
He's going BKB, right?
Yeah.
I feel like on an offlane Void, you can buy Ags. As a core Void, you should not ever buy Ags. You should get Refresher instead. But that's like a 5th or 6th item. And considering the role he's playing this game, he is like the 1 position. He's building it correctly, I'd say.
Got that Shadow Blade. Did he get that BKB in full right there?
Something shaken, so yes. Now they just heal up, wait for Global and Chrono, which are going to come up pretty shortly. And unless they take some stupid fight mid here, they're in a really, really good spot.
I feel like they could get in, get out, especially with this Nyx. He throw a nice White Striker Ray, get the Laguna Blade, and get the kill.
It's a risk that's not worth taking when your Void is healing up in base and you don't have everyone with you yet.
The Spark's going to come over. Here are a bunch of these heroes. He's going in on 3. The RP again is going to be really bad, and then the Chronosphere hits 2. And he's got that BKB pop, still trying to kill that Sark. He's going to pop his own BKB. Finally, they kill off this Magnus. They're going to lose the Rubik as well. The boat's going to come through and hit on 2. Now let's see if Attacker can make anything happen. The Rocket Barrage is going to hit on him as well as the missile. They're going to get another kill as well as a 4th, a 5th. They're all dead. Moriarty with the cleanup on aisle 5. So they get the kill. Moriarty, they only lose 1. Looks very good for them. They are completely ahead at 15,000 net worth, and now we'll go for the high ground siege.
And I feel like this is why Conquer isn't a real hero. And I'm sad because I like the hero, but as a core, it just isn't doing enough. You know, look at what Lena's doing on the other side. You know, she's not solo winning the game by any means, but she's kicking out so much damage that the other team just like can't fight into her. And what are you scared of with the Conquer? Okay, the X is annoying, but they're dealing with it really well through Global and Yules. And Void cares a lot less now, he has a BKB, and Jaro, I don't feel like he's been caught the entire game. He's always been like either near more valuable targets or on the other side of the map.
5, 5, and 15, the Void 5 and 1, Lena 12 and 1. Rise having an amazing game, has 17 Bloodstone charges. Here comes the Slark.
You just jinxed him, dude.
Maybe they finally get
Blink.
that kill. There's the dust,
blink,
so he knows
blink.
he's being chased and blinks away. No jinx here. Never mind, he gets skewered back, and now he's going to Yules himself up. He's surrounded by 3 of these heroes on DESPACIO. We'll just deny
You need to send him a tweet and apologize, dude. You just got him killed. Look at his Bloodstone. That should be at like 14 right now. Look what you just did.
Oh, no. So sorry, your eyes.
He demands an apology, dude, right now.
I'll give an official statement behind a podium at the end of this game.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Oh, man. How's Gyro doing with this little side gunner?
I'd be curious to see the damage at the end of the game.
I
You
wish
can't
I
really
could
see
tell.
it mid-game.
Yeah, I wish I knew what's just they had a thing specifically for like side gunner damage.
I mean, I just want hero damage. Doesn't show anywhere, does it? Or am I retarded?
It's in the post mode.
Yeah, but like I'd like to see it now, because I feel like Lena's, Void, and Gyro are all doing a lot of damage in fights. And hell, even Silence is probably doing a good chunk, spamming the curse.
Dire's top tower is
That
under
stuff's
attack.
really annoying. And they don't have ways of dealing with it other than Slack, versus BKB and Darkpack.
Dire's middle tower is
And he
under
did one thing as well that like I don't understand when Slacks take lifesteal. It feels so bad every time.
Keeps him alive.
I
just a
suppose he
little
feels
longer.
like he needs to man fight.
Dire's top tower is under
I
attack.
could have been forced into picking that, for sure.
It's just like the point of the hero is to snowball a fight by killing someone with damage.
They might actually get this kill. It does come out from 2 of them, and they do end up getting the enchant totem. There's the call down coming in from the gyrocopter. They just don't have the damage to take out this Nyx. Immortal Faith, he's going to be stunned up. It'll be a kill for Khan. Now we take a look over. Now Lena, Nyx and gyrocopter working on this shrine.
Money to burn.
Side gunner works on towers as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think it
I see no reason it wouldn't.
sounds like I can hear it just hitting that 3rd time.
As foretold.
I know it just feels like inevitable. They've got complete control of the map.
Ooh, they're going for this Sark, Mike Fury. Oh, RP, so they might turn this around. Does he get that Chronosphere off in time? Might go for it. He's actually just going to go for the time dilation and the time walk. And escapes very easily, way easier than I thought it would be.
It's just hard for them because the pace of the game is so slow on their part that every time they try and make a play like that, Global's available. And when Global isn't available, the other team is gonna
Radiant's top
hopefully
tower
play
is
it
under
in a
attack.
way that like they're only gonna give up like support kills if that happens.
Hanzo. You spot out this silencer. Maybe they'll finally get a kill, but the Laguna Blade comes out as well as the last word. Attacker might be in a little bit of trouble. There's the Echo Summon between 2 of these heroes. The pass to the high ground as well as the BKB. They got the call down. That's going to hit on Monza, not do a lot of damage. They finally lose the Rise. I've jinxed this game completely. Meanwhile, on the Earthshaker, he'll drop to Blink. And it ends up being a 2-for-2 trade.
Probably gonna result in a tower dying now though.
Actually, Monza very close to this Void. He's got to watch out.
They can't really
And he
do anything
hits away at
about
this
it.
Nyx. Spike Carapace comes out. I would assume he uses that Chronosphere, and it's right there with the call down once again. He's still pretty much all right. Now they start to hit away at him. There's the Rocket Barrage with a nice rocket coming in, and Monza will be taken out as well as Immortal Faith. 4 dead. They might just clean up this tower and racks and kind of clean up the game.
Pretty much. It's just what answer do they have? They have to worry about like Echo and RP, so they're never really that close. And then they just aren't getting the value out of the spells. If they're hitting like 2-3 heroes, then the game's okay, but they've never really had the option. And they're just getting picked apart.
Yeah, they're going to lose that Rax. Earthshaker's going to try and go in. There's the two-man stun. They also got the boat on the Lino, who gets pushed far, far away. The time dilation is going to swallow him up. The two-man RP, but it is really helping. The Luna Blade hits onto Rod. Rod's going to drop. Now Attacker's going to be the next one who gets stunned up by the Nyx. He'll fall. Earthshaker to follow. 4 dead. And now they head for the last tower and racks.
The only thing this game's missing is some Arise shit talk.
Radiant's bottom tower is falling.
That's what we need, I feel.
And they do call GG. So Moriarty are going to verse Planet
Radiant's
Dog
bottom tower is falling.
in the final, and they take this series 2-1. Oh my god. Arise just denying himself at the end. Hey.
Radiant's middle tower is
I
under
feel like
attack.
it's just an outdraft in so many ways here.
Yeah, they played that game to the T very perfectly. Arise 13-4-13. Gyro never doing anything too terribly. Mike Fury, and as much as the Chronospheres were like one person and maybe like 2 of his own, they were what they needed. Like you were
Pretty
saying.
much.
And he played a very good game. Void played it, you know, really well. Maybe the big time Chronospheres, everybody gets excited, but I do like how he just used it where it was needed, and that's what, you know, 16 assists are there, 7 kills, 7-1-16, a very good game from the Void. 8-5-20 for the Gyro with hero damage of 18,000. So, and then Arise 13-4-13, or 13-4-13, very good, and they will be moving on to the finals coming up next. They would take the series 2-1. So that's it for this series. We'll be moving on. Team Moriarty versus Planet Dog. I'm your caster BCop at BCop92, joined here by PQMZ at PQMZ Dota _. We'll be right back with the next series, the final series of this EU Open Qualifier number 2. Stay right there.
Bets, online betting for every